What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Paul and Theology Daily Devotional, and we are going through the book of Exodus. We're in Exodus chapter 5, verse 22 and 23. We're at the end of the chapter. Exodus chapter 5, verse 22 and 23. If you haven't read it yet, stop the tape, check it out. So we have to say, come back, we'll answer these 4 questions. If you have read it, man, let's wait no further. Let's jump on into it, man. What's happening? Well, we see that Moses, actually the people have come out to Moses and they've complained. They said, man, may God judge you. May God judge you. And so Moses is relaying these thoughts and his own heart too to God. What's so incredible about this is that God knows Moses' heart. God knows Moses' position. And I believe that Moses knows this, that God knows the secrets of his heart. And he goes to God with these feelings that he has. He turns to Yahweh in this moment of stress over his brothers and sisters. He's like, why have you caused evil to come upon this people? You haven't saved them. You haven't rescued them. You haven't delivered them. He's crying out and petitioning God, and he's saying, you said you were going to do these things, yet you haven't done them. Another thing about this, though, that it's crazy, is that he says that you said these things, right, about being delivered, that the people will be carried out of Egypt and brought to a land filled with milk and honey. But he doesn't seem to recall the part where God said that Pharaoh ain't gonna let you go. I have to use a strong hand to get him. So what's this say about man? What's this say about God? I think this says a lot about the timing of God. It says a lot about God and his sovereign plan. And we've talked about that plan that God has over everything, that he's doing these things to revere his name, that people can come to see Yahweh as God of all. But also it's for our good. So in one manner, we're seeing it play out in a way that we may not want it to play out. And it's doing it in our own lives as well, brothers and sisters. It's doing it in our own lives as well. But we're looking and we're seeing that God is sovereign and controlling things to move so his glory can be seen, but also for our good. And I think the next thing, if I didn't say it the first time, is timing. God has his own time. God has his own time. Now, I think, what does it say? He may not be there when you call him, but he's always on time. It's because our God's an on-time God. What he is doing is he is creating a situation for us to grow. But then he's also creating a situation that the most people can see his glory shine. We look back on this. I read a little book a little bit in a commentary that talked about how God is going to reassure Moses here in a little bit. He's going to tell them that what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. But what is happening is that Moses is writing these things for people who are in the wilderness. And so that generation of people that had been wandering around for 40 years are wondering, well, when is God going to fulfill his promise of bringing us into the promised land? They're reading this. They're seeing this. And they are understanding that this is the same position or occurrence that happened before. And God did what he said he was going to do. He released them from Egypt. He got them out of Egypt. And now it's upon them to continue to stay steadfast as they are reaching the land. So God has his own timing. God is in his own timing. And so I think this also proves another point when we talk about God's timing. We also talk about the people of God. So what does this say about man? It says that we are impatient at times. We are impatient at times. When we hear God speak or talk to us about a situation, we often think that it's going to happen soon. And so I don't want to say that Moses was not remembering the thing about the strong hand concerning Pharaoh letting the people go. I don't want to say that he wasn't remembering those things necessarily, but that he assumed those things were going to be carried out quickly. That when he goes up and Pharaoh's like, nah, it ain't happening, man, that soon God would act and they would be freed from that oppression. He didn't realize it would take a little bit longer than what he expected. He didn't realize that they'd have to hold on a little bit longer than what they thought they would. When we hear God speak to us, man, it's hard to go through that waiting season. It's hard to go through that waiting season. Another thing is that I believe we should go to God with our problems always. That's what Moses did. That's what we should do. How do we apply these truths to our lives? I think this today is a good one. Is understand God's timing. Understand his sovereignty, understand his timing, understand his purpose. And then continue faithfully in the walk. Now we can cry out to him, of course. That's what he desires from us. He knows our heart anyway. And so let's cry out to him in that sadness and that hurt and that pain. But trust God in the timing. See, as we look back and as Moses writes these things and the people are reading it who are on his side, when they look at this, hopefully it brings them comfort and more trust and faithfulness of God, because they see what has happened before. God didn't fail. And so what is happening now in our lives is, as we sometimes see, especially today, I mean, there's a lot going on in this world that can give us some angry, a closed fist. But let's recognize that God moves in his timing, and if we just are patient, we will get to see the wonder and the glory of what he has in store. Of what he has in store. So wherever you're at today, have patience. Trust in God and cry out. Appreciate you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.